There was a time when pickup trucks were big, boxy, and boring machines. And that's fine. They were meant to work at job sites, pick up a lot of dirt, do a lot of work on the ranch, and that's perfect for what they were meant to do. But over time, people wanted more. They wanted to be able to bring the kids to school. They wanted to be able to go to the office. They did not want to look out of place whenever they went into town or into the city. In other words, people wanted a lifestyle truck. And that brings us to the new Mitsubishi Strada. Now, 4 years ago when Mitsubishi showed us the Strada, I remember being a little underwhelmed, especially by the looks. It was too conservative, too traditional. But I can't say that about the new model anymore. It's like Mitsubishi told their designers, hey guys, go nuts. And they did. And this is the result. They call it rock solid, and believe me when I say, it really does look the part. Strada fans would know that the chassis, the body, is actually technically the same. But what's really changed are the exterior bits and pieces like the wheels, the taillights, and of course, this striking new front end. If it looks familiar, it's a new interpretation of the same look found in the Montero Sport as well as the Expander. To get it out of the way, these are actually the fog lights, turn signals, DRLs, and projector headlights. If you'll notice, these projector headlights are actually quite high. And why? It's for crossing through floods, something that's very useful in Metro Manila. The front of the 2019 Mitsubishi Strada may be getting the most of the attention, but they put some nice little touches in the back as well, like these new LED taillights inspired somewhat by the Montero Sport. Being a GT version, this one comes in the white diamond color and a bed liner in the back for a bed that measures in at 1520 millimeters long, 1470 millimeters wide, and 475 millimeters tall. Being a GT version that has pretty much all the features available, comes with parking sensors in the back and a rear view camera, so you really have no excuse for hitting anything in the parking lot anymore. The GT variants are the high rider versions, meaning they come with 220 millimeters of ground clearance, or about 8.5 inches. The lower grade versions, like the GLX, they're at 205 millimeters off the ground. Personally, I'd prefer ground clearance because in Metro Manila or anywhere else you go in the Philippines, it's much more useful. You may not notice it at first, but Mitsubishi actually made some significant improvements to the interior. Things like the leather, the plastics, the overall fit and finish. And of course, some enhancements like a smartphone tray here and here, so you never have to put your phone in a cup holder ever again. The Strada we're in is the top of the line GT variant, meaning it gets all the nice features from Mitsubishi's spec sheet. Dual zone climate control, cruise control, a 2-DIN multimedia audio unit, a 6-speed automatic, paddle shifters, a rear air circulator for the rear passengers, and a nice new 4-wheel drive system that we can play around with in the dirt. If you have to ride in the back of the Strada, don't worry. Yes, pickups are known for having an uncomfortable ride, but Mitsubishi improved the rear suspension by increasing the diameter of the dampers and putting in some nice leather seats. But where Mitsubishi really excels is in the drive. They've got that rally art DNA, and it always shows in any of their SUVs and trucks. And it begins by starting the Strada. Mitsubishi actually gave us a long and extended test drive of the Strada in Thailand. We drove it on a mix of expressways, country roads, and even took it into a challenging off-road course and a jungle off-road course. The Strada, or the Triton as we drove them in Thailand, showed off the many new capabilities of the new suspension system and the new 4-wheel drive system. Eventually, you're going to get a chance to drive the Strada when it arrives at showrooms early this year. There are going to be 8 variants, with the GL at 960,000 pesos, all the way up to this GT version at 1,670,000 pesos. All Strada versions will come with a 4N15 2.4-liter turbo diesel Myvic engine. And that's great. It's got 181 horsepower and 430 Newton meters of torque. Plenty for the 6-speed manual or the 6-speed automatic. There's no denying that Mitsubishi has had a tough time as of late. They had to stop the Adventure and they had to stop the L300. Big losses for any car manufacturer. With the Strada, it's very promising. And it can really help drive Mitsubishi back to their proper spot as one of the strongest brands in the Philippines. This is Vince Pornelas of AutoIndustriya, and if there's anything to go by, we're in for a very interesting year ahead in the auto industry.